That graphic, by the way. Let's see, have it now. Have it now means we're a society. We are a people that's become very bad at putting things off, at deciding, you know, I want that car, and if I work really hard, I know in about 2 years I'll be able to save up, get a promotion, I'll be in a position to afford it. We're more likely to say, let's see, I'll take out a loan. I'll put it on my credit card. I'll buy a house I can't afford. That's our society. Entree in our business is the main course of a meal. However, we also learned in high school English that entree is power or permission to enter, or even special access. Well, using entree as a play on words, we want special access to our customers' and prospects' mind. We want them to be aware of what it is we're trying to bring to them. When we put a marketing piece out there, how are we going to break through? How are we going to get their interest? So now each of the letters in entree stands for a different principle. On-premise marketing is not complex. You might remember was the first one. Well, if we take the first E in entree, what we're saying is this principle is about enticing people to come in. And what do we mean by entice? We want to attract by arousing hope or desire. We want them to enjoy the environment that you have created and perfected over 25 years. Okay, how do we do that? What are the characteristics of an enticing atmosphere? A lot of these decisions have already been made, but it doesn't mean that we can't think in terms of improving them or changing them as times change. I heard you speak earlier about going from wooden floors to painted cement floors. That affects the atmosphere, how enticing it is. For example, lightings and furnishings. Relatively lower lit, but a lot of, at least the La Madeleines that I've been to. By the way, I'm out of the D.C. area, so I think you have 7 or 8 stores there. I've been to 3 or 4 of them. I do enjoy your restaurant. I don't look much like your ideal customer, except on Wednesdays. I'm just kidding. Just kidding, just kidding. All right. But I do enjoy it. I like bringing my wife. I've even been bringing my daughter to come out. So I have a bit of a feel. There's a lot of open space, a lot of natural light. All these things are appealing to me. Music selection versus noise. You've got a great music going on in the background. Adds to the atmosphere. The restaurants are going to get a little noisier when you go with the cement. That's something to be aware of, because sound will bounce off of the cement more so than the wood. Cleanliness, restrooms. Your ideal client, or your most successful with women. I can go to the same restaurant as my wife. We can both go to the restroom separately. Mine can look like a bomb went off there. I come out and I go, is the appetizer here yet? If there's a piece of paper on the floor in the women's bathroom, she comes out, I don't think I can eat here. I don't know how people can eat here. Your core customer is very aware of cleanliness, more so than any other restaurant I can think of. Now, to be honest with you, I haven't gone into the women's bathrooms at any La Madeleines, but I do send my wife and I do send my daughter and I say, tell me what you think of it. You're right in the middle. You're not the worst and you're definitely not the best. That's an area that your customer pays a lot of attention to. Something to think about. Wall decorations versus TV. What other things? Server uniforms, menu designs, staff personality, all contribute towards creating this enticing atmosphere. And by the way, menu design goes beyond just marketing. Menus are critical to moving sales towards your higher margin products. A well-designed menu, and I saw the design changes that you made. I think there's still room for improvement, by the way. We know, for example, that people respond to graphics. A good-looking picture next to a menu item, again, not necessarily every menu item, but your highest margin will lead to an increase in the sale of those products because people respond visually. What are some of the other areas? Food presentation, how it's coming off on the plate, the waiting areas, when I'm waiting in line, is it comfortable? Do I feel like this is just taking way too long? And occasionally it does. You don't have really a bar area, style of food, table setting. All of this contributes to whether or not you've created an enticing atmosphere. And there is more that you guys will come up with because you know your stores a lot better than I do. And I'm going to be learning from you a bit later on about this. Any questions or comments about any of these? Okay, told you it's nap time. We'll move on very quickly to another video, since you guys enjoyed the first one. This is my favorite part coming up. Okay, everything's good. You here for the oil change? Or we got a free filter for you? Basically, you can't really see this, but up here, it looks like it's about 11:49 in the morning. This is the lead-in for the next principle. Everybody who works for you is a face of the restaurant. Everybody is a salesperson. Not everybody is as motivated as you would like them to be. I don't know if he was thinking ahead to lunch, but you could see when that car pulls up there, it was aligned incorrectly. He didn't care that much. And first, it looks like he actually showed left this way. I think what he was doing was going this way, but since he went back and forth, you had the error. Errors happen all the time. Most fortunately, not as critical as that last one. So what is the second principle? What can we do to make the meal memorable and remarkable? Near perfect service. Okay? Again, you and I can go to the same restaurant, sit with the same server, enjoy the meal, but afterwards I might say, I thought that server was great. I thought the service tonight was perfect. And you might say, you know, I thought it was very good but not perfect. Perfection is wonderful to strive for. If you hit near perfect service, you've done a fantastic job. That's why I call it near perfect service. That, plus also if I called it service, it would be estray. Instead of entree, I would have lost a big book deal. I wouldn't be invited out here. None of that would have happened. So I needed an N in there. Okay, so what are those characteristics we're looking for servers, for people who are the front line of all of your restaurants? Well, some of them, friendly should be obvious. But it's amazing how often I run across somebody in a service industry, restaurant, hotel, airline, that just seems to be missing that friendly gene. Somehow, or maybe they left it at home during the day. Knowledgeable. People will ask anybody they see in your restaurant about specifics to the restaurant, about certain meals, about the hours that you're open, about your catering. People have to be trained on that. Available certainly is more so for a full-service restaurant, but if somebody's out on the floor, they have to be available to answer these things, questions. Good communicator goes without question. They have to be able to explain if somebody says, are there onions in this salad? The answer shouldn't be no if they're a scout.